Evidently, I'm having a stream problem too. So I'm sorry. What'd you get?
An 8 with the +1.
Okay. Well, that is successful enough. You are able to get the toolsack workbot functional.
Okay, and so I believe the whole point was to drag one of these crates away from the rest of the, like maybe over here in this area.
I'm sorry. Where'd you want to move it?
Over here, maybe up near the wood pile, whatever's left of the logs. That'll make it easier and quicker to create the log trap, on top of it.
Okay.
And we can maybe surround it with the logs that we're not using for a bonfire. I mean, if we don't have electronic goods, and these things have to climb through a fire to get to us, I would think we're pretty safe. I mean, if they're attracted to the EMP stuff on the south side of camp,
we'll need to make this an electronic free zone when the sun is gone.
That's what I'm thinking. Just give them nothing that they'd want to have.
So I went ahead and I drew a shape up here to show where this container will be.
Sounds good. And maybe once we're done with this hauler thing, we just sort of put a brick on the pedal and let it slowly travel into the woods to attract them away, because it's got electronic equipment that's going to attract them as well.
That's true.
Maybe park it right over the hole in the mine if you could. Maybe try to block that.
I don't think there's really a hole in the mine. It's just a pit, to my knowledge. It's this section.
It's not a hole. I mean, calling it a hole is being generous. It is really just like a quarry pit where they've been digging down trying to pull out samples and see if they find anything doable. K over here is the rough landing pad where the small haulers should have landed. And I'll go, for your sake, over this. This A, B, and C here is considered the main cluster, with A being a command and control hut, which also has a gun locker where Jack found the shotguns and rounds. B is a standard hut given over to storage and mission supplies such as spares for the robots is C. I'm sorry, B was the command and control hut. A is actually a now completely fried fusion reactor that would take quite a bit to repair. D huts are living quarters. Each one is designed to accommodate 4 people with a small common and recreation area. E is actually a large eating / meeting / everything else space. They have enough freeze-dried meal packs to last for months or drive the crew to despair. Let's see. F is a working laboratory workshop / workshop module. F is an ore sampling and minerals laboratory, and G is an electromechanical workshop. There's a tiny medical bay and backup command communication center that is as dead as the main one. Hut G also has a much larger reserve power unit than the other huts, though badly damaged and offline. If it were to be brought online, it could supply some power for the area. Hut F has a fair amount of ore and rock samples heaped up behind it, where they have literally been tossed out the window after tests. The 3H cargo containers are your standard shipping container that you would see on any ship today. They are makeshift garages for these 2 electrical buggies. They're field buggies that right now are completely useless, but these are what they appear when they are functioning.
So is there any way to fix those? Sorry, interrupt, Chris.
No, go ahead.
Is there any way to fix those, or those large pieces, like those large machineries? I'm trying to think here if we can get like those to like maybe run over some of the bugs.
Well, they do have one of the toolsack work bots up and running. That Corey with his electronics remote ops 4 skill could use to run over some bugs. Or as the current plan is, they could run it off into the wilderness and hope that the bugs would chase after it. And then down here is a underground water reclamation system that normally works great, but is currently not working all that hot because there's no power. Now, battery backups along the berm. This back wall here is a pile of dirt that has been built up, and they put logs into the top of it and kind of made a berm. And there are these battery operated lights, and the batteries on those lights are shielded, so they can bathe the camp in some spotlighting. And then J is a communications tower that currently is nothing more than scrap metal because it's not doing much of anything. M is are piles of logs that they had piled up, which one of those piles at least is now stacked up on top of the cargo container and is being set up to be a log trap. But George and Jack, you both need to make a recon plus intellect check.
George and Jack. Okay, well actually, no, I can add my intelligence. So that's actually going to be a 10.
Okay. What did Jack get? Okay. So, man, that's the first time for this. You both got it. So,
nice.
So,
George and Jack rule the day.
Yeah, you guys are in Hut B, which is the command and control hut. You've just kind of now come out of your stupor, and you're kind of finally feeling with it. Both of you notice as Dr. Telford has come into the command hut after finishing burying the Proving Site number 9 team leader, and he's kind of taking stock of his medical supplies, and he has the archetypical, 19th century evil doctor, mad scientist black leather medic bag, and he's kind of taking stock of his medical supplies. And some of the stuff that he is putting into that bag are some more of these vials that have the cloudy, milky liquid in them, and they are completely unmarked. And you notice that there are a couple of these that he sticks into his bag. Now, you both know that Dr. Bocephus found a case of these that are unmarked, with no idea what they are, but it is Dr. Bocephus's opinion that these are not something that would be used at the administration of a low birth. And now you're seeing these again.
Yeah, we found them on the ship, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Is our semi-aquatic friend with us right now to possibly maybe identify these, or?
He's not. He's out setting up the log trap on top of the moved garage up to the north of the camp. So he's up here.
Okay.
So we see him do this, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you both notice that he's putting these into his bag.
I just say, hey, Doc, what are those nasty-looking things you're putting in your bag?
Yeah.
Put those in my ass, are you?
He says, oh, these are just medication, standard antibiotic type of medication.
Antibiotics for what?
General medical type stuff. I mean, you never know what you're going to run into. These are general use antibiotics.
Can I see one of those little vials, sir?
He goes ahead and he pulls one out and tosses it to you. It's completely unlabeled.
Unlabeled. It's got nothing.
Yeah, it's just got the little the silver cap with the black syringe insert on top, the stopper, and other than that, there's no label on it, and it's just a cloudy, milky, thin liquid.
Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna hang on to this. You never know if I get sick or something like that, right, Doc?
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus intellect check.
Can I make a deception check instead?
I mean, you could. It depends on which direction you want to go with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually go with the. I haven't been feeling too good lately, so maybe I'll just hang on to ones in case I need a shot. I'll just stick myself. It's not the first time. I'm just gonna hang on to this one if you don't mind. That kind of deception.
So George and Jack, you both notice his demeanor immediately changes. It seems like he's breaking out in a bit of a sweat. And he says, I don't think that you want to do that. I mean, unless you're a doctor, you probably don't want to administer that kind of stuff on your own.
It's just a simple antibiotic, right, Doc?
Yeah, but taking too much of anything can make you sick. It would be best if I were the one to administer it.
I think I'm just going to hang on to this for my own personal good, just in case.
He leans over to you and he says, and he kind of whispers to George, and he says, "Meet me in Hut C and we'll discuss this."
Well,
he says, "I don't want any trouble. Just meet me in Hut C and I can explain."
I think maybe my friend Jack here should probably join me, don't you think, Doc?
Oh, it would probably be best if both of you were inoculated.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna pass. My herpetogonosyphilis is already cleared up, so I'm just that was last week, so I'm good now. I'm pissing clean, Doc.
Okay, just I'm trying to gauge on this. Like, is this very well could be just an antibiotic used to stave off anything from these critters or something like that. It could be. I mean, we don't know, right? He could be legit, but my gut feeling tells me it's not very legit. That's why. This is,
Yeah, I don't think it's legit either, but I'm not sure I want to be isolated in a room with him to talk about it.
well, I'm thinking I'm going to do less talking and more pointing a shotgun at him and having him explain himself. It's just George has low social skills. So,
unfortunately, I don't have great social skills either.
Well, I think, Jack, that I think this would be an excellent opportunity for the two of us to perhaps persuade the doctor in other ways.
Oh, all right. Physical.
I don't have any skill in persuasion, but I do have an ability with a gun. So
that's the great diplomacy tool.
I honestly, I think in this situation, yes. And I don't want to waste a round on a doctor when there's, I don't know, when I'm going to be playing Lineagen versus the Ants, I guess is what I originally thought this was all like. So yeah, we'll take him to Hut C. We'll let him go first and we'll go in there and make sure that no one else is there. Close the door and then kind of casually point the shotgun at the doctor and say, perhaps you'd like to tell me what this is really for.
Okay.
And perhaps I'll inoculate you with a couple pellets in your behind there.
We'll come back to you in just a moment.
Great, that's fine. I'll wait.
Bocephus.
Let's build the lock trap.
You are up up at the new your newly created or in the process of being created log trap. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys where you're at on the map. Riker, you were working on comms. You're probably in Hut B. I'm going to be at the antenna. That would be silly. Zerda's over here working on the bot. George McDuff and Jack are over here. See, there we go. That's easier to keep track of. So, up here to the north, Bocephus, you are in the process of working with Hambly and Sael. And go ahead, Bocephus, make a Recon plus Intellect check.
Okay. 2. 9.
Okay. You notice quickly that Sael and Hambly, as they're working to get these logs set up the way that you have things plotted out, as they're working, they frequently whisper to one another, and then you notice that they both kind of end up looking over their shoulder at you, and then they whisper to one another, blah, blah, blah. This isn't necessarily unusual behavior. You don't know how long these two have been on crew together, but you know that Sael was like third officer on the small hauler. So that's a good chance they've been working together for a long time. Of course they're going to have their own shorthand. Of course they're going to be, at least on a professionally friendly level. So it's not really overly concerning to you. Until you hear Hambly yell out, look out, and he jumps off of the roof of this cargo container, and CL trips and falls off the container, pulling the rope. Now, I need you to make an athletics dexterity check. Now, if you don't have athletics dex, it's just a flat dex roll.
I'm looking because I don't have my.
Oh, your character sheet, yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Yeah, athletics dex is not usually something that a doctor has, but
Well, how about a 13? With a
ooh,
crit?
you jump and roll just as like 4 of these large logs come down exactly as they should, except without you being in front of them. They work perfectly. They would have crushed you had you not suddenly become a ninja and jumped and rolled out of the way. And Hambly and Sael are both, oh my God, Dr. Bocephus, are you okay? We're so sorry. It was just a terrible mistake.
Yeah, I'm fine. There are really, no mistakes, just happy accidents. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I forgot your Bob Ross routine.
Yeah, so, if we could just get the logs back up, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to kind of stand over here.
Okay.
And I will put myself in a way that I am not in the kill zone of the trap they're putting together.
I mean, they are the ones that kidnapped us, and now they're trying to kill you. But hey, no big deal.
Well,
Happy
no, I
accident.
understand that. I already don't trust them, but now is not the time to get into that. There's a larger opportunity at stake because I have the telepathy ability, which means when these things come around, I can persuade them to eat the captain and his assistant rather than attack us. So yeah, their time's coming.
This is
I gotta paint the whole picture, friends.
This is starting to turn into aliens. Riker, you can make another. This time you can make an electronics comms plus intellect or education check.
Six.
So you are fairly confident. It's not working yet, but you are confident that with the parts that you have available that are left, that if you had a little bit more time, you could get the communication system up and running. Maybe not tonight before it gets dark, but if you guys can make it through the night, in the morning, certainly you could set up the comms to at least get out a short-range signal that you could basically alert the starport that you are in need of assistance. Or at least get some kind of signal GK going that somebody would come to help.
Was that a comms roll or a power roll that you made?
He made a comms roll.
You should probably. I mean, I would have explained that. I mean, that's my specialty. If you want somebody to look at comms, it's the power part that I'm not good at.
Yeah, nobody's really good at that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, to be fair, even if you are good at it, you're still going to have a problem because parts are limited. And you're basically scavenging parts from one completely destroyed item to another completely destroyed item and then hoping that it's going to work. It's been my experience in real life that generally goes poorly. But, I mean, I've had some cases are better than others, but generally it's poor. So, Sarda, where are you sending... Are you going to wait to send this robot off until it gets dark? Or are you sending it off now and parking it somewhere off in the woods, trying to, maybe act like bait?
I'd see what everybody else, whether we could use it for something else. Does anybody have I mean, will it help build the log trap faster? Will it help? Can we maybe excavate a ring to put the logs in if we're going to create like a bonfire to try to defend? That if we,
it would probably help in all that, and it would have you in the general area.
If we create like a pit here and fill this with logs, and this is the, with this being the entrance to the, we could maybe, create a big fire so that they're not going to want to, go through the fire to get to us.
Can we surround? Is there enough logs to surround it?
I don't really know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. We've got. They're building the log trap. I don't know how many of the logs that's going to use. There's obviously.
I would say that one pile would be on top, and just looking at I mean, it doesn't say in the book how many logs are there, but just looking at what these piles look like, I would say that if you wanted to use one of the robots to kind of make a log fence around the cargo container, you probably could do that.
I wasn't thinking fence. I was thinking like a actual pile of them to light on. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, fire moat. You just have to name it properly.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah,
I would say you could do that. There's enough logs there to do that.
Because I figure if all the electronics are on the south side of camp, we've got a giant fire and no electronics. They're not going to be as likely to mess with us if we're just trying to survive the night. And then when they do attack, we can put the tractor on autopilot, let it just start plowing through the forest to maybe drag some away from us.
Okay, so I will move you up here. You are in the process of moving logs. And we'll come back down here to Hut C. So, George and Jack, you get Dr. Telford into Hut C, and he tells you that he's nervously eyeing your shotguns, and he starts out by saying, "I want you to know that this was going to be the last run. I swear to God, after this run, I was out, and I didn't do it out of being, malicious or evil." But this was going to be the last run.
What do you mean by the last run, Doctor?
So he tells you the reason why your memories were hazy is because this liquid in these vials, he extracted it from the killer creepers. And there is a skill jacking gang that is led by Sael, and she brought in Skipper Hambly, and they would kidnap travelers who have a good amount of skills that can be used elsewhere, and they would put them into lowbirds, inject them with the serum, and they would be drowsy, hallucinating, lose their memories, basically making them docile. And then they would sell them to whoever could use them. And he says it's not. My understanding is that it's not as bad as it sounds. It's not like slavery. I mean, you generally work with your skills on some back-end colony somewhere, and then they let you go.
So he's using something taken from the killer creepers to Shanghai people?
Yes.
And we were basically those Shanghai victims?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
I don't like that, Doc. But I got more important things going on. We need to know everything you know about these creepers.
It might be interesting to ask him about the fact that there was no jump capability on the ship. I've never heard of a non-jump capable ship with low passage. So like it's really weird. So it's sort of like, where did we come from? Where were we going if it can't jump? That is a real mystery as far as I'm concerned. I'm not there having that conversation. It may not be important to you, but it is really, really weird for Traveler.
Yeah.
I was going to get to that same thing, sort of. Yeah, that was...
So he tells you that he's not exactly sure what the full situation is, but he knows that Sael has contacts, and there's more members of this skilljacking gang on Tobiah in the starport. And so if anybody buys low passage, which you guys probably would have, it's not like you have a ton of money, they sell some of these to Sael, and they're just moved as cargo. And as soon as whatever ship you were on, they're just scheduled to be moved off as cargo to a small hauler.
I gotcha. So the small hauler, so what we were on basically acts like a refrigerator? Because they drug us and put us on it, and then they use us to make an exchange with whoever's going to...
Right, it's basically just a cargo ship. It's a cargo boat that goes out to the asteroid belt where most of the mining colonies are, and then they make trips back to Neon, the main world, and drop off supplies, things like that, pick up, change of shift, and then moves back out to the asteroid belts.
It's a slave hauler. That's what it's really called.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
He says, I swear to God, this was going to be the last one and I was out. I just needed enough money. He goes, I'm not proud of it, but I've got gambling debts.
We all got ghosts we chased, Doctor. Now why don't you hand over the rest of those vials? I deal with Sinel another time.
He pulls them out of his medical kit and gives them to you. He's genuinely apologetic. He didn't expect things to go as bad as they have been.
I think at this point in time, I don't want to get rid of anybody who might have any kind of information. Normally, I would be all RoboCop on this guy, but I don't think we're going to have a very good night coming up, so we need all the able-bodied people we can possibly have. I'm going to explain it to him, saying this is the only reason why I'm keeping you alive at this point in time. And we'll deal with you and Sinel in the morning. And I'd appreciate if you kept this conversation just between you, myself, and my good friend Jack over here. Because if I find out you've shared this conversation, You won't have to worry about the discussion we'll have in the morning.
He says, I'm completely on board, and anything that I can do to help you guys out. He says, honestly, I never saw any of the victims. I just supplied the serum and got paid after the fact. And he says, I'll be honest with you, it's not like I didn't know what was going on, but it's a little bit different when you see it up close and personal.
So, yeah, Doc, you're a piece of shit. But
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
I don't want to be. I got the same feeling George does, kind of. I don't want to be prosecuting moral crimes before Demon Night or whatever is coming up. But the time is to drop the guys. I want to know if he knows about any more supplies, especially guns or explosives, that's going on here.
He doesn't know of any additional supplies. Everything that could be used, you found.
Sale or Hambley don't have anything squirreled away to make sure your dirty asses get off the planet?
No, unfortunately not.
All right.
He says, honestly, after this last run, I was going to collect my money, go to the Neon Star, and he says Starport with air quotes. He says Neon Starport, and he says I was going to pay off my gambling debts and then quit. I was going to leave Stenmore Minerals and book passage out of this back-end shithole spaceport.
Yeah, that's a good story. We'll probably talk more about it in the morning.
We're definitely going to have this discussion in the morning. It all depends on your actions tonight.
Okay. So by now, it's like getting to be 5:30-ish in the evening, local time. The sun is starting to go down. Sarda and Bocephus both make Recon plus Intellect checks.
That's an 8.
Ooh, okay. So Bocephus.
Yeah, I didn't do that well.
On here. Yeah. Set this up.
Okay.
So Bocephus, you notice that along the berm and at the very edge, the northwestern edge of the camp, you see movement, and you see some of these creepers starting to make their way around. And this is what they look like.
Oh, that's just wretched.
Throw them in some boiling water, get some butter and garlic. I mean, you know.
Shrimp cocktail creeper.
Yes, and you see that they are starting to make their way up the berm. Now, the thing that you notice, Bocephus, is that it is not completely dark yet. So it is the twilight hour, as they say. And the first thing that you notice is that they don't appear to like being in any kind of direct sunlight. So they're kind of, for lack of a better word, they're creeping along, kind of sticking to the shadows cast by the logs that are in the berm, or up here at the northwest in the foliage, kind of staying low, and they almost act like they're you know that they're animals, but they act like they're kind of sussing out the situation. Like they've got their multifaceted eyes on you.
Right. What is old Captain and his little sidekick doing? They're kind of focused on the log trap? Is that what they're doing?
Hambly doesn't seem to notice. Sael, on the other hand, she notices the creeper up to the northwest, and she takes a shot.
Who does?
Sael.
Okay.
She
has that fancy brand new hunting rifle, and she pegs it. And this is what I get for not having that particular weapon ready. I mean, it's nothing fantastic. It's just a rifle. I think it's still 3D, though.
Tech level 5, 250 meters, 3d6, kilograms 5, cost 20, and it's 5.
What I thought. Ooh. Okay, so she hits him pretty hard.
Do we have flashlights, torches?
You would have lighting on your vac suits.
But I'd have mine off. I don't know about everybody else, but I don't have power on my vac suit whatsoever. If there's a battery, I take it out and leave it behind.
So Sael cuts loose with this rifle. Everybody in the camp can hear this rifle go off. She hits this feeder, and it is injured pretty bad, but it recognizes the danger, and then it scrambles into the foliage and hides. And you notice that the feeder's up on the berm, kind of, as soon as that shot goes off and they see this, they crouch down and kind of move back a little bit.
I think it might be time to get into our container of safety. Better than being caught out in the open here, right? Did we cut small holes in the container to actually shoot out of, just in case we had to?
Nobody brought that up.
No, we never did anything like that. We have this front opening of the thing, and in a log trap, and I highly advise don't hang out in the kill zone while the NPCs are around.
All right. I think it's time to kind of maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you guys can move your own tokens. I believe they should be set up so that you can.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Riker's gonna run to the log trap container once he hears that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out, with the guys and get ready. Kind of make sure that my shotgun's got all 6 rounds in it, and I've got enough ammo on me to.
So, Riker, Jack, And George, you make it about that far. Sarda, are you going inside the container?
I'm trying to figure out if I need to. I'm trying to figure out if I need to make this thing travel off into the distance.
Hmm.
Right, because we discussed the idea of sending a cat out on its own.
Do we have any idea how many of those things come or are, or
I'm just assuming it's more than we've got ammo for.
Strata, I'm going to say there's probably going to be a lot.
yeah?
So, like Bocephus, I've removed the the battery from my suit as well.
That's something, Bocephus, you recommend?
Yes.
If they're attracted to electrical items,
Yes.
we don't want to have any electrical items on us.
Well, I guess the battery out of my vac suit's going to be coming off.
The way forward is in a primitive path. We should not have wasted carrying things that will attract our enemies, lest we become a happy part of the landscape rather than a traveler.
So everybody roll initiative. It's basically a dex or intellect check. It's average, and the effect over 8 or under 8 is what your initiative is. 8 would be 0.
You're kidding me.
That sounds like initiative with extra steps.
I rolled a 6 plus 2 is 8, so I'm going to stay at 0.
So Riker, if you got a 12, you would be at 4. You're 4 over 8.
What's a 10 do? That's a 2?
Correct.
Got it.
So I got a 6. I'm at 0.
At 6, you're at minus 2.
Minus 1. Minus 2?
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
You failed by 2.
All right.
I usually just take the roll and subtract 8 and allow negative numbers.
Right. I mean, I'll be real honest, there's really no need. There's no need to do it this way, but that's the way they do it. That's rules as written. So between Jack and Bocephus, which one of you wants to go first?
Let Jack go first. If I'm the medic healer, it's probably best I'm last anyway.
Okay. So Riker, you can see movement up on the berm of these creepers as you guys are moving towards, and it looks like they are getting ready to move up over the berm, especially now that you three have started running towards the container. What would Riker like to do?
Did we did he grab any more shotgun shells other than the 3 that came with it?
You would have reloaded, so you have a full 6.
Okay.
And that leaves you with another 38 shells.
So do you want to split those up maybe? I'll grab... We have 2 people with shotguns, right?
3.
3?
Yeah, I've got one.
So I'll take 12 rounds. We'll kind of split them up. That gives me 2 reloads.
That's kind of what I was thinking if I could.
Yeah.
Only 2 of us are using revolvers, right?
Yeah, so if we have enough rounds to get at least two reloads.
That leaves 2 shells left over.
Yeah, and then we have 2 shells left over, and we can either use those on ourselves or on Celie.
We had 12 revolver shots as well. So I mean, If only 2 of us have revolvers, then that means each of us would get 6.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my count now.
Was there
accordingly.
was there anything I could pick up to use as sort of like a hand weapon, like a bug swatter, like a chair leg or some sort of a club?
Could probably make a spear pretty easily out of the one of those logs.
There was an axe or a hatchet.
Yeah, I've got some unarmed melee, but
If you use the hatchet, it'd probably be pretty easy to make spears.
Yeah, the hatchet does better damage than the knife does. The hatchet's 2d plus 2. Knife is only 1d.
who else has melee skill to kind of maybe?
I have blade.
You've got blade?
Yeah. But I also have blue
Riker?
claws, so I don't know if somebody else can use it. I don't want to take, if I have built-in knives, I don't want to take somebody else's potential weapon.
Anybody else have melee skill? No?
No,
Nope.
sadly, no.
Okay.
I didn't make officer.
Okay.
And Sarda's got a revolver as well, right?
I do, and okay. I've at least got a 0 in gun combat but no skill at all in melee.
So both Sarda and Josephus should have an additional 6 rounds. So you got to reload.
Okay, so it's a hatchet, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what does it do for damage again?
2d plus 2.
2d plus 2. Okay, we'll just put that in there. Okay.
Anson and Catriona are also traveling with Riker, George, and Jack. And Catriona gives Anson her revolver. So Anson has a handgun. It looks like Anson has never held a handgun before in her life. Not even a cap gun. And as the three of you are running, Anson says things like, well, there's some situations you're just never going to get out of it. Maybe we just need to accept it. She's very fatalist.
Wow. Any way to kind of boost up her morale a little bit? Give her a little pep talk? Tell her everything's going to be okay?
If you've ever met an emo in high school, you will know that it is nearly impossible.
To be unhappy is their secret joy.
That's right. Yes.
I raised one.
So how many people total are we looking at trying to defend? There's 5 of us.
6 if you include Anson.
Okay.
And then there is Corey, Telford, and Catriona, Hambly, and Sael. So another 5.
Okay. So there's no others on site other than just the named ones we already know.
There were others on site, but 5 of them were killed yesterday.
Oh.
Before we arrived.
So
yes.
I guess now's the best time. My thoughts are it's a defensive action. So we don't really want to engage. We want to engage these things as little as possible.
Yeah.
We don't know how to make them want to go away, other than maybe if we could rig lights to either stay on or flash on periodically to drive them away as much as would be tolerable. My other thought was to put, if you want to try and kill them as a group, then instead of just driving that robot off into the woods, put it in the bottom of the pit. And we can either put explosives down there, or at the very least, we will have the high ground when they go into the pit so that we can attract them in and then just shoot up what we can. But generally speaking, I would just want to stay in the container all night long with the log trap in your face and a very small field of fire, and just not really engage them, almost not at all. You know what I mean? Because I don't care if I kill them or not. We just need to survive till morning.
I don't want to attract any unnecessary attention to ourselves either. I mean, if we can survive in the container without actually engaging them at all, getting rid of, like, of course, like Bocephus said, get rid of anything that has any electronics. I think, get rid of the batteries off the vac suits, put them on the vehicle, on the robot. Let them kind of follow that around all night, trying to figure out what's going on with that. And we can stay relatively calm and protect the people that we have here to protect, and keep an eye on those that we have to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like you're saying. I would say put everybody who doesn't have a shotgun in the back of the container behind us. And basically, if they can get through the walls of the container, we're pretty fucked anyway. I mean, and just have, so that your field of fire is just out of the front door. Leave your log trap as a last line of defense to try and make some sort of escape to I don't know where. But
if they get to be too much, release the logs.
Yeah. But then just have your shotguns up front, maybe a pistol or two, but then just slowly rotating fire, like not even fully engaging. Just if you can get them to move back, the better off we are.
Maybe we'll ask, as we're all starting to get huddled in this thing, we need to maybe send the captain or his long-ranged assistant, ask one of them to go light the pit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We need somebody, preferably one of our enemy friends, to light the fire moat.
Why don't we suggest Celine? Celine. See if she's got, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
I would say actually, like, one of the best tactical things to do would be to put her like at or just behind the fire moat, slightly outside, because she's got range.
Yeah.
And if she hits any of them, bonus. If she doesn't and they get too close, she can just fall back into the containers and she can be defended with shotgun blasts.
Sounds good to me.
And do like that.
Okay. So you're saying you want sail like here. Is that a general idea?
Well, where's that fire moat? Somebody's got to draw that in.
I assumed. There's my draw. That it was. Whoop. Going to kind of be like that. Is that it? Is that what you were thinking for the fire moat?
Yeah. There was no gas hanging around, was there?
No, everything's electric.
If there's enough logs for that, yeah.
There's a social commentary in here somewhere about having all electric vehicles all the time, but
I suppose we should be thankful they didn't just give us energy weapons.
Yeah, we could ask her just to hang out right outside the front of the containers so she can retreat easy.
Yeah. Well, I figure one end of this container is open. Which end is it? Is it this side or?
yes.
The back side here?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, put her just right between that moat and the front door, basically. And then, like I say, if she gets in trouble, she can fall back inside. And then you have the 3 shotguns just at the mouth there. And then they can get crossfires in front to cover the corners. And then have even one on hand just for extra power.
If the captain wants to get out there with her.
Right.
He can watch
So,
her flank.
so the first thing with this idea that Hambly tells you is that he's not going to allow one of his crew to be out there by herself. So he's going to go out, and he is going to be like right up here.
So he's outside the moat and on the other side from her?
Yes. His plan is that he's going to try and take them out, and if they chase after him, he'll lead them into the moat. Basically, he's going to make himself bait.
Okay. You know that's a really bad idea.
He's not the brightest individual.
Okay. I mean, I want to warn him against it. I got,
Where would you like to put him?
in the container. Like, there's no reason to engage anything outside that fire moat except with that rifle.
I like the idea of him being outside because he
I mean,
can
if you
watch
want
her back. I'll actually speak up to that and be like, "Oh no! If he feels safer outside, you must let him listen to his gut."
Yeah, he'll be less likely to accidentally shoot us.
So
I don't think it'll be an accident, but okay.
I mean, I would at the very least put him out there with her, like right next to her, to basically
if they could
defend her. That's not a terrible idea. Him just wandering around in the woods with minimal reloads and thinking he can take on the alien world all at once is kind of
he can
silly,
see the wisdom in your decision, so he will be outside as well, but he's not going to allow Sael to be out there all by herself.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of, and that's great. Have them both out there, because if Sael runs out of ammunition, she's going to become quite useless. We don't need her anymore, so we can push her over the fire moat for bait.
I want to whisper to my compadres, while they coming in and they're in the two out, I'll be like, they tried to kill me with the log trap while we're making it. I just want you to know they tried to kill me.
And I'm going to explain to them I can see why, because we're their slaves. They had us drugged and shipped here.
Yeah, so are you going to use the separate... Well, you're not there yet to do that.
So I can't... Yeah, I guess I can't whisper. We'll have a conversation during... We'll use some minor action talking.
So it will be a free action, but the question at this point... So it's a minor action of 6 meters. Riker could get inside the container. If that's what Riker wanted to
do. Yeah, I mean, if that's what we're doing, he'd probably be right outside.
Okay.
And aim for right now until everybody's in, seeing as he was leading. But that's the plan.
Okay.
If we're going in, so I'll just
basically
aim.
You're covering the area where that last creeper was found.
Yep. Until they get in, yeah.
Okay. Sarda, what are you doing?
I'm about to send the bulldozer off in the distance. I think I'm going to launch it from here.
Okay.
Since the creepers seem to be coming from the east side, I'll just drive it up to here and put a brick on the pedal or whatever it might take to allow it to just go on its own off into the distance.
Well, basically, Corey can just peg the controls for auto because he's got remote ops and just send it wherever you want it to go.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'll drop it off so that it's sort of pointing to the northeast from here, and then I'm going to head back into the container.
Okay. George, what are you doing? So I would say, George, 2 minor actions would get you inside the container.
I'm going to get into position because I understand how good positions need to be. That law enforcement training is going to kick in where I want to find something defensible and I want to be with my mates. And since there's nothing around here to drive, because that's kind of George's real specialty, everything else he's just not very good at. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. So I'll use my 2 minor actions, and I'll kind of make my way to, I guess, the inside of the container. Can I move myself right to there then?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
And I want to keep an eye out. Like, I really want to look at, like, what's coming over the ridges as I'm going down there. Is there anything coming up from the foliage? Is that wounded one coming up at all?
Make a recon plus intellect check.
Okay. Oh, crap. Oh, no, wait a minute. +2 and +3. So, actually, that's not too bad. That's going to be a 11.
So with an 11, you do see some small movement in the foliage off in this direction. But even more than that, looking off into the landscape, and to tell you guys, where did it go? On here. To give you an idea of this was what your ship looked like when you climbed out of it. But this is what the landscape around the area looks like. It's basically marshy, muddy brambles, fairly thick
it's
greenery.
hard to kind of gauge, right?
Right. But what you see off in the distance, now it could be, small rabbit-like creatures getting the L out of dodge, whatever, but you're seeing the foliage move. Something's moving through those brambles.
Bigger than these creepers?
Your estimation is it's probably it could be about the same size as the creepers, or it could just be, scared wildlife. You don't know. A small creature can make a big branch move if it jumps hard enough.
I'll just relay that information to our team and just say there's more coming.
Okay.
Definitely a lot more.
Okay.
We need to be ready.
From up here.
It's going to be a long night, boys.
Well, the first thing that...
And slave traders.
Man, they're never going to live that one down. Especially since they screwed this up so bad. So, the first thing that you guys see is you see the injured one. And it comes running in. Riker, because you were readying an action for this, you can go ahead and take off a shot. And you get a +1 for aiming.
What range is that? Like, what range is from the front of the container to the moat?
It's well.
Okay.
It's like 2 meters, so.
Okay.
Wow, that is a hit. So +3 to your damage.
So what's the 40?
It is for shotgun. Yes, it is 4D. It has a range of 50 meters. So yeah, you're at close range. So actually, that's another +2. And you got an 11.
So
I'm
plus
sorry,
4.
that's a +5 to your damage. 40 plus 5. Oof.
16.
So Riker squeezes off a shot, and this feeder just basically explodes into bug guts. But over here on the berm, this feeder kind of sees Jack and is making a beeline for him. That's as close as he can get, and he isn't able to do really anything because he did nothing but running for Jack. And this feeder I can get my mouse to work. This feeder's not as dumb. He's going to stay hidden behind this little mound. And he kind of goes out of sight.
So they're kind of intelligent, aren't they?
Yeah, they're smarter than you would expect them to be for big bugs. So, Jack, you see this Doberman-sized scorpion spider thing running up on you. What do you want to do?
I just want to run to the front of the or at least beyond the moat here to the front of the container.
Okay. So yeah, you should be able to do that. I think 2 minor actions would get you. 1 minor action will get you right there. Yeah.
All right.
So now that we know where everybody's at. Bocephus, what would you like to do?
Well,
So everybody is technically inside the moat, but nobody's lit it yet.
yeah, I understand. I think I would. I think I'm just going to use this time to whisper over to my 2 low birth posses, friends, like the captain and his little sidekick. They tried to kill me while we were building the log trap. We should beware of them. They are not our friends.
They're probably feeling guilty
Yeah,
and want to cover their tracks.
maybe so. But we should negate their danger at the earliest convenience. And I will go ahead and try to get behind everybody with my friends. And I want to go ahead and load up one of those syringes.
Okay.
I'll make a loud announcement. If anybody gets hurt, I am the best medic that you will ever find.
Telford kind of looks over at you and is like, he's got this worried look on his face. George, are you going to tell Bocephus about what you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to whisper into his ear, let him know what the good doctor told us and what he admitted. And he may not be a bad guy, just got into a bad situation. But that girl there with that brand new rifle there, who's such a good shot, she's a problem.
Well, when the fight begins, I am going to sneak up to her and shoot her with this magic juice that we found from the ship. And that ought to be able to, when I do that, you grab her gun.
I think I'm gonna try to convince, but I think that's a good idea. But I think we need anybody who can shoot tonight. Maybe closer to the morning, or if she runs out of ammunition and becomes not useful to us, then we shoot her up, and then we'll just kind of use her for bait for creepers.
Whenever you're ready to make the move, you yell out the word "tallywhacker." I will know. That is the go word.
That's a word I'm quite familiar with. Tallywhack it is.
Yes.
I'm going to have to write that down.
Feed her a sheet of acid, let her loose naked in the woods. So...
I don't have to write that down. I think I can remember Tallywhacker.
Oh.
A side note for everybody, did you know that spine and penis use the same letters?
Yes, I did actually.
Honestly, I'm going to say that I never thought about that before. But
Those are the magic words to keep you erect.
That's true, actually. So hold
Yeah, that's how you throw a wrench in his planning. You
Let me see where sail falls into the stack.
Probably won't help with these arthropods.
I believe that. Yep, that is a -3. And what about Captain Moron?
Well,
Shit, he ain't good either. All right. He is also at -3. So you're all at. Are you all piling in and essentially shutting the door? Or are you leaving the door open?
The door open, so otherwise we're going to leave Celine out there by herself, which of course really isn't a bad thing as well. But we want to make sure we can see what's coming and have kind of a field of fire too.
Yeah, leaving the door open leaves a kill zone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. So you're all moving into the cargo container then. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
No,
I do not want to be out there with these things. They do not look pleasant.
What about Riker and Jack?
I mean, I don't want to be the only one out here. So.
Well, you and Jack. Jack's out front with you.
I'll pile in once kind of everybody else is in.
Yeah, the only one aside from the two you don't care about, the only two people that are outside are now Riker and Jack.
And we'll
Okay,
go for them. So.
Then yeah, I'll just pull in just to the corner.
Okay, I will move you into the. There you go. Whoop.
No,
There you
I
go.
want to be like right at the corner.
What about Riker? Are you going to lead with the chin?
I will.
Okay.
Try to stay near the door as well. I mean.
Okay, so is anybody going to light the fire? Or are you waiting for that, or?
We're gonna wait for more bugs to come, I guess, right? I mean, we have all night to go. Like, how long is
We do not have any kind of propellant on it. I mean, it's going to take a long time to get started. It's not like it's doused in gasoline.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the
earlier we light it, the better.
I will say that. So these logs are coated a bit. So if you've ever seen railroad ties that are covered in like a tar, you really don't want to light one of those on fire because it burns for a long time. So these logs are kind of coated in a tar, which preserves them a bit, but it also makes them very flammable. I wouldn't say very flammable. They're kind of like Duralogs, so if you can get them lit, they're going to stay burning.
How big are they? Are they like railroad tie size?
No, they're about half the size of what you would see pulled on a log truck.
Oh.
So about like a foot and a half diameter then, right?
Yeah.
I'll take the hatchet, maybe do a little bit of hacking along one of the sides, start trying to get them lit. Maybe some of the coating, if it's like an oily residue,
Okay.
Just make a ring of fire.
Well, I know we don't want to use electronics, but do we have a battery? If we took a battery from something, could we overload it to make it overheat and use it as a fire starter?
Do we have a fire starter in that survival kit?
That's a very good question.
That almost seems like something that should be a
It should be in every
standard issue, right?
I would think, as a matter of fact, there are 12 chemical light sticks, 4 survival ponchos, 4 personal survival kits.
The chemical light switches will be good. The sticks will be good. That's a light source that doesn't rely on electricity. So,
Right.
Yeah, it keeps them light in
but
our new container of hell.
There are 4 personal survival kits. Each one has a fire starting kit.
There we go. Let's start a fire.
Okay, so you guys are working on starting a fire. And you are able to get this fire started, and you kind of have to go around, starting multiple points around this diameter. But
I'll work from north to west, or north to east then.
Okay. As you are moving around, you are back towards the backside of the container, lighting part of this this little moat on fire. And I mean, right now the fires that you've started are small, but you're expecting that they'll grow, and sooner or later this whole thing will just be, you know, a nice moat around you. As you are over on this corner, you hear some rustling over on this side, just out of the eye range of anybody looking out the front of the container. You hear Hambly's shotgun go off, and then you hear Sale's rifle go off, and she steps back into the container, and she says, "Oh no, shit! They got Hambly."
What?
And you can see that in the darkness, Hambly's inner body is being dragged off by one of these creepers.
Shit. So, 2 things. One, can I be with George wherever he is lighting?
Yeah.
Just kind of as a team. I'll cover him while he lights the fire, since we're kind of out in danger.
Okay.
Good idea.
George, like, right here. A little bit. Jack, here.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
And so you guys are going around lighting this. You can hear the gunshots go off. And but then Bocephus, Sarda, and Riker, Sale comes in and says, you know, shit, they got Hamlin.
Do I have an idea of where Hamlin was?
You know that he was just up on the other side of the container, out of your field of vision.
Because he had a shotgun on him too that's now going to be out there somewhere that we could probably really use.
Right?
Yeah. So I want to scream out loud to everybody, like, stay behind the moat.
Okay.
As we hurriedly continue.
Riker, what would you like to do?
I do not trust her at all.
Right?
Always be behind her.
So she came into the container?
Yeah, she stepped into the container and told you this, and then kind of stepped back out and is looking out into the darkness.
All right. Is there any way I can, like, peek myself out and see if there's anything coming in? Anything I can take a shot at?
Go ahead and make a recon plus intellect check.
Seven.
So there's a couple of things that you notice. So the first thing that you notice is that the number of creepers is steadily growing. So each one of these on the map, each one of these tokens is now denoting usually more than one. I can go away. There are a new group that you're seeing, but they're staying off in the distance. And these are killers. You can you can tell that they are, they look different than the other ones. These have a scorpion tail on them. And you see a couple of them, but they are kind of staying off in the distance, like they're waiting to have something, pulled to them.
Okay. So I definitely want to yell out so that my team knows that we got some bigger ones off in that direction. Especially since we have people outside the container. Are they too far to shoot at? Any? Yeah.
Let's see. So you got a range of 50 meters. Well, this one up here is only like 10 meters away. So yeah, you could take a shot.
Cool. So we'll definitely do that then.
Is that one of the big ones?
That's one of the big ones with the scorpion tail, yeah. Yeah, you can take a shot at him.
Missed.
Oh. All right. Oh, wait.
Terrible.
But within 10 meters, you get a +2 to that. So that would be a hit with a +1 to damage.
Oh, perfect.
Ouch.
Wow.
I did not add the +1, but it's fine. I clicked the wrong thing, but so it would be 14.
So the first thing that you definitely hit this guy, but it seems like compared to the damage that you did with the smaller one, these bigger ones are considerably tougher.
Well, naturally, when you said killers, Chris.
Right? Yes. Yeah. We'll say, yeah. You also realize now that you've hit one of them, moving around in the darkness, you see that there are about 3 of them up there. Sarda, what would you like to do?
I'm going to move to at least the doorway with the gun, and if anything comes into the field of fire,
Okay.
I'll right, because the doorway's on this side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no problem. So that's where I'll be.
We'll
I'm not very good with a gun, but
Jack and George have made it around somewhat. George, you are lighting the fires.
Desperately fast now that I've started to hear gunfire.
Yeah, you hear some gunfire go off. You hear, the archetypical alien scream off in the distance.
Nice.
George, make a recon plus intellect check.
Okay. I'm also, as I'm kind of cruising around too, I'm also trying to keep an eye out to see if Hampley actually dropped his shotgun, because those shells might come in handy at some point in time.
Okay.
So my intellect check is going to be 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 2 for intellect is 13.
Okay.
You
do notice something.
Okay.
So you were told that there is the possibility of a 4th kind of these things that they refer to as thinkers. And they think that that's just a fake. They don't believe that it's a rumor. They don't think that it actually exists. But what you're seeing is something that looks like the regular feeders, but it is over, and with its claws, it has picked up Hambley's shotgun and is investigating it. It's looking at it like it's trying to figure it out.
Don't suppose I could take a shot at that thing, can I?
You could.
I mean, I've got Jack right beside me as well too, right? I think the two of us could.
Yeah, you could.
We need that shotgun. Okay. That's just I'll use slug 1 plus dexterity, right?
Yes.
So that's 6, 1 plus 1. That's 8.
That is a hit. No bonus to damage, but you hit.
It's within 10 meters, though, isn't it?
Yes. So that's yes. You get
Okay.
plus 2.
Okay. 46.
Yeah, if you're within quarter of the range of a weapon, you get a plus 2 to hit.
Yeah, that's not very good. On 46, I guess I got average, so that's 12 points of damage only.
Okay, so you do injure it, but it doesn't go down.
It does go down?
It does not go down.
Does it drop the shotgun?
It does. And on its turn, it starts to move away, like it's taking cover.
All right.
The feeders.
Jack, finish it off. Dirty, rotten bugs.
Everybody loves spiders.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is not healthy.
So a group of feeders runs up on Jack, but Jack, you can roll 2d for fire damage because they will take the fire damage.
Okay. 10.
Okay. So the three of them are unhealthy, but they are going to make an attack on Jack with mandibles. Mandibles. And they hit for an 8. They bite you for 5. Now, actually, it's not going to get through your armor because the vac suit's got a plus 10. So, but your vac suit is probably not going to be good as a vac suit. It's torn and punctured and going to need to be sealed.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot about the thinkers. The thinkers are going to.
There are thinkers.
They're going to think. They're going to think that they don't want to get shot. Is what they're going to think. So Jack, what do you want to do? You got 3 of these things trying to chew on you.
There's no disengage in this, is there?
No, you can. Yeah, that's such a silly concept from D&D. Yeah, you can just turn around and run away.
Yeah, I need to run screaming to where that shotgun was on the ground.
Okay, so it was over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to run and go get it.
Okay, so that
and say, I tell George to get back to the door.
I'm gonna cover you while you're out there, lad.
All right.
Okay, so with 2 minor actions, you can get to the shotgun, and with your 3rd minor action, you can pick it up.
Perfect.
It has 5 rounds in it.
All right.
Sael. Sael yells out, Jack, be careful, and is pointing the rifle at Jack.
Okay. I don't see this, do I? I don't have any actions left anyway, so.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm right beside her, so.
She misses with a 5. So she shoots wide, and you see some foliage get blasted into splinters behind, somewhere behind Jack.
So where is she?
She shot at him, like gun pointed at him, and took a shot.
Yeah.
So
she first yelled out, "Look out!" and then took a shot.
So I'm standing right behind her, and I'm basically watching her shoot at Jack.
Yeah, if you want to spend a reaction, you can. You get as many reactions as you want. On your next turn, you would be at -1.
Stab her.
Yeah.
Sedate that bitch.
I'm just gonna say, next time shoot the creepers, not the hostages you kidnapped.
Okay. Bocephus, what would you like to do?
Well, I think it's time just to get a better idea of what's going on out here. I'm going to use telepathy, life detection.
Okay.
So this will give me, if I make this easy check, I'll spend 1 side cost in everything that's distant, which would be 5 kilometers or less. I'll know, and I'll have an idea of what kind of life forms these are.
And you might get a headache doing that. I mean, you're essentially out in a swampy forest, but yeah, go ahead and make your check.
Yeah, I'm really only going to focus on things that are like within maybe 100 meters or less. I'm not going out kilometers.
Okay.
Really, I'm not concerned with the far distance. So, roll 2d6. This will be +2. I got a 14.
Okay. So
I will know about. I need to roll my seconds real quick. So
yeah, see how long it takes.
Well, this will be how long it lasts, I believe, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get the information, and then,
Right.
but I mean, it's how long it takes for you to get that information and collate it.
Yeah. All right. So this is a 1d times 10 seconds. So, but it's still 1. So 10 seconds from now.
So you are picking up the location of every in the camp, every single creeper that's there. You do detect that there are 3 different types. There's the feeders, which are the most common. There are killers, that are like hive warriors, and then there are the thinkers. And you can detect in your life detection, you can detect that the thinkers have a higher intelligence. The one benefit that you're detecting with your life detection is that these thinkers appear to be juveniles. They are freshly hatched.
Okay.
But you are detecting that there are many more waiting off in the jungle just off the edge of the map. And we're going to break there for this week with George finishing up. We'll say George actually did move. Lighting the rest of your little fire moat and get into the later in the evening of what transpires next week. Friday night at 7 p.m. And what you're going to do about CL.
Knock her out.
I still like that. Stab her. Stab that bitch.
That's what I was just looking up rules for, is how knockout rules.
Push her into the fire pit.
Right?
Yeah, light her on fire.
If we have anybody that has unarmed combat, chances are she's probably not really that proficient in it. You could just grapple her, and then you have all kinds of options. Make her go prone. You can give her damage.
I think we only have 2 people in the party that are trained in melee.
Well, and it doesn't say so in the rules, but I would personally rule that an unarmed strike, you can have the option to do stun. So if you are trained in melee unarmed, you should have the option to stun your opponent rather than to beat them to death, which would technically follow the stun rules. If their endurance drops to 0, they're knocked out. So there's that option as well. And
I have melee. I'm one of those characters that has melee.
Right.
So
that's something to think about. That that we can pick up next week. It's clear now that Sale may be trying to get rid of witnesses.
Thank
we're
you.
her
I've
best
got a-
defense.
I've got tornado sirens. I'm going to sign off. I'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, okay.
I'll see
Good
you
luck,
next-
man.
Okay.
I was wondering what that sound in the background was. That's a dedicated gamer to keep playing the role-playing game while the tornado sirens go off. Wait, I gotta finish this session.
Tornadoes at this time of year?
Hey, man, climate change is a bitch.
Holy cow. Man, and I complain about my snowfall. At least we don't. Well, we've only had one tornado here in the city ever, I think, that I can even record, and that was a bad one. But that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah, we've got a atmospheric river going over us right now, and so this entire area is under a flash flood watch. So yeah,
we actually got rain as a result of it. Fresno doesn't normally get rain this time of year, so I mean we get 11 inches a year total, but we actually got a couple fractions of an inch of rain here in the last couple of days because of this weather system that's being pushed down from the northwest.
Yeah, we got 3 1/4 inches in one day. So yeah.
Well, that's the northwest.
Yes. Luckily, I live on top of a hill, so everybody at the bottom of the hill is screwed, but I should be okay.
That's good.
Maybe I'll build an ark, but we'll find out. All right, guys, I will see you next week at 7 o'clock, and we will pick this up and finish out Flatlined.
All right, take care.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris. That was fun tonight.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Have a good one.